Foreign legations at Peking. The British ambassador offered the Japanese government £1 million in exchange for Japanese participation. 58. Marquis Komura Jotaro. Komura became Minister for Foreign Affairs under First Katsura administration and signed the Boxer Protocol on behalf of Japan. Shortly afterward, advance units of the 5th Division departed for China, bringing Japanese strength to 3,800 personnel out of the 17,000 of Allied forces. 58. The commander of the 5th Division, Lieutenant General Yamaguchi Motumi, had taken operational control from Fukushima. Japanese troops were involved in the storming of Tianjin on July 14, 58, after which Thiers consolidated and awaited the remainder of the 5th Division and other coalition reinforcements. By the time the Siege of Legations was lifted on August 14, 1900, the Japanese force of 13,000 was the largest single contingent and made up about 40% of the approximately 33,000 strong Allied expeditionary force. 58. Japanese troops involved in the fighting hard acquitted themselves well, although a British military observer felt their aggressiveness, densely packed formations, and over-willingness to attack cost them excessive and disproportionate casualties. 59. For example, during the Tianjin fighting, the Japanese suffered more than half of the Allied casualties, 400 out of 730, but comprised less than 1/4, 3,800, of the force of 17,000. 59. Similarly at Beijing, the Japanese accounted for almost 2/3 of the losses, 280 of 453, even though they constituted slightly less than half of the assault force. 59. After the uprising, Japan and the Western countries signed the Boxer Protocol with China, which permitted them to station troops on Chinese soil to protect their citizens. After the treaty, Russia continued to occupy all of Manchuria. Russo-Japanese War. French illustration of a Japanese assault on entrenched Russian troops during the Russo-Japanese War. Japanese riflemen during the Russo-Japanese War. The Russo-Japanese War was a conflict for control of Korea and parts of Manchuria between the Russian Empire and Empire of Japan that took place from 1904 to 1905. The victory greatly raised Japan's stature in the world of global politics. 60. The war is marked by the Japanese opposition of Russian interests in Korea, Manchuria, and China, notably the Liaodong Peninsula, controlled by the city of Ryojun. Originally, in the Treaty of Shimonoseki, Ryojun had been given to Japan. This part of the treaty was overruled by Western powers, which gave the port to the Russian Empire, furthering Russian interests in the region. These interests came into conflict with Japanese interests. The war began with a surprise attack on the Russian Eastern Fleet stationed at Port Arthur, which was followed by the Battle of Port Arthur. Those elements that attempted escape were defeated by the Japanese Navy under Admiral Togo Higashio at the Battle of the Yellow Sea. Following a late start, the Russian Baltic Fleet was denied passage through the British-controlled Suez Canal. The fleet arrived on the scene a year later only to be annihilated in the Battle of Tsushima. While the ground war did not fare as poorly for the Russians, the Japanese forces were significantly more aggressive than their Russian counterparts and gained a political advantage that culminated with the Treaty of Portsmouth, negotiated in the United States by the American President Theodore Roosevelt. French illustration of a Japanese. Count Tadasu Hayashi, Vice Resident Minister to the United Kingdom.
Yes. I was sleepy, so I clicked by mistake. So maybe we have the news. We have the news in 5 minutes. The Danish evening news. Should maybe take a break. Then I can. I will charge in my camcorder. then just continue and read it finish. So let's do that. I'll drink some cola. No, I like to travel to Japan in the future, but that's very far away from Scandinavia. It's the other end of the planet. So let's drink more cola because it's very hot. So I'm just charging. But could start upload, I think that's 4 parts. Could start uploading to make the photos. I'll look at that in a few minutes. So let's do that. Take a news break. Open my door to my balcony. Yes, what I'm watching the news. This computer, of course.